Hello.
Hi, how you doing today?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good, good. I appreciate you making some time for me on a weekend. I
Yeah,
really do. Um,
no problem. I hope I can answer. I was, reading a little bit about stuff, but what you're going to ask me some questions about,
yeah,
like,
just about I guess how you feel it's been going. A little bit about just the I guess um since we're past the initial launch phase, just a little bit about the reception of it. And I I know there isn't really a direct impact from the shutdown that will
oh, the
affect,
government. Yeah,
yeah, the
that's
government
like
shutdown, but
that's
just the timing of that happening while you're trying to push like a
push
whole
that. Yeah,
campaign. Yeah, what's that like?
because
But yeah,
I've read a little bit about the results and stuff, but I'm not
okay.
privy to all the insider
Yeah,
stuff. So
exactly.
they keep
Exactly.
that pretty close to the vest. So
Yeah, exactly. And that's why they haven't released it yet. I'm sure I reached out to them, I want to say Tuesday of last week, and they said, "Hey, we're in the process of like working with our resort partners and stuff like that to
yep.
tabulate the numbers and whatnot." So I'm sure maybe later this week or next week, whenever they decide to release
And I saw something online. Was looking and I found something that I thought was interesting.
Mhm.
Or did I not? Yeah, here it is. I thought I took a picture. Nope, that's not it. Yeah. Well, I thought, hang on. Yes, I didn't take a picture of it. It had talked about, well, I mean, I had read something that there was definitely increased interest, well, increased increased interest at booking sites. There was more traffic at a lot of the websites. There was a lot more activity following the what I would consider the sales promotions, what they call the 5-day sale. And that's a logical extension or a logical outcome, I should say. Cap that, not extension, but a logical outcome of those kinds of things. But I think I told you last time we talked, I honestly don't know what the objectives of the campaign were. And this is just what I read, and as I said, I'm not privy to the inside information, but what I've read, yes, there's been a lot of increased traffic, activity, etc. What I haven't seen, and I would like to think it might have been one of their goals of the sales promotions, is actual increased bookings. There has to be a time, there is a delay between the time that a campaign is actually released and things happen. Now with sales promotions it's much more instantaneous, but again, I haven't seen anything about more bookings. I saw something about more booking interest, so I don't know if there are more bookings or not. That information has not been released to me, so I can't say that. Has it generated the buzz, the web? Yes. Yes, that it's happened. And if that was one of their objectives of this part of the campaign, then you can say it's successful. What I read was that it was successful because of these things. But you can't really measure success unless you know what the objectives are, because the objectives are how you measure success.
Yeah, and when you are talking about these type of overhauls of your branding, your messaging, and all that, and you're what a month into it, and then a government shutdown hits. Now, there's a lot of federal employees around the country. Not all of them were coming to Las Vegas or taking any sort of vacation in the immediate, but when you're trying to do something like this, the timing of that, how can that really affect it?
Well, it can definitely affect it. That's when we talk about doing a SWOT analysis for our students or for anything. When you're doing a SWOT analysis for a business, the T in SWOT is threats. And those threats are things you generally cannot control. And a government shutdown would fit right into that. And so obviously that's going to affect a lot of things, but you have people that are considered necessary workers, for example, TSA. They have to go to work, but they're not going to get paid until everything is resolved. It's not that they're working for free, but they are at the moment because they're not getting paychecks yet. They will eventually get paychecks. But from what I understand, many are calling in sick. It's a problem when there's a government shutdown, obviously, because it is a threat. It does cause a lot of uh, problems among consumers, what's going to happen. It affects the economy, it affects so many things, and it's going to affect tourism. So the fact that that happened right in the middle of this, that certainly was not the best time for Las Vegas. It's not the best time for anything, but especially while Las Vegas is trying to boost their traffic. So definitely, it's an external factor that does play a role in decision making by consumers.
Yeah, and obviously outside of just the 5 day sale, there's been a number of activations already. The starting everything with that commercial that aired.
Right.
Just at this point into it, through your eyes, and I don't want to have you measure success necessarily, but just how has it been going? If you were on the front end of this, and their goal is to get people back interested in Vegas again. I know we don't have the numbers to prove whether it's worked or not worked, but how happy would you be with how things are going up to this point?
Well, as I said, it's really, really hard to say because always a campaign needs to be measured by its objectives and have those objectives been achieved. And if I say that the objective of this campaign is to increase buzz by a certain percent, online, to increase traffic, those kinds of things, and I have achieved that, then it's been successful. But I can't really say has it been truly successful because I don't know what their objectives were from the beginning. Now, bearing in mind that their campaign also had different parts to it. Um, you had the first part, which to me was a true branding type of campaign. They were trying to change it a little fabulous Las Vegas. We've still been known as fabulous. And then the fabulous sale, but the sale is a different type of campaign. And I see it as something a little bit different than the same part of the first campaign, even though they're talking about it as the second part, it's again, it's a sales promotion. And that's great. It can be a very important part, but it's not brand building. It's doing just that. It's sales promotion. And if I saw their objectives listed, and then I can say that, oh, they did accomplish those, then I could say it's a successful campaign. Everything I've read is saying it has done what it was supposed to do. That's great. Then I would say it's successful. I honestly was not privy to what it was, quote, supposed to do, numbers wise. I know from a general sense, but nobody gave me the numbers. And that is often very, held close to the best.
Yeah, and my last question, and then I'll get out of here on this Sunday afternoon. Just obviously, we've been going through a tough time. The numbers in August, we're waiting for the numbers from September. I believe 7 straight months of a year-over-year decline in tourist numbers. Are you hopeful that we're on the back end of this, or do you feel like this is something that might stick around?
Well, I'm hopeful we're on the back end of it. Hospitality, tourism, that's just part of Las Vegas. The problem is, so many other alternatives have come up, and that's, competitive threats. But we're still that unique place. We're still that place that everybody wants to go to at least once. So, are we on the back end, you mean, of the issues that we're facing? I hope so. Um, Obviously, the people that need to be worried about it are worried about it and are taking action, and that's great. And hopefully, we will see some positive results, some increased travel, increased, I mean, people are spending, but I'll be curious to see when they do finally release the results, what they say about the numbers. Again, I don't know what their initial numbers are, but I do think that this idea that Vegas is expensive has permeated tourism and where people go. And I think if we do a little bit more to get people to feel that they have value coming here, and that value is still here, I think we can be on the back end. I think it depends on what's coming, and I think it depends this kind of comes together. The different hotels, which of course they all came together, the hotels, the casinos, et cetera, they came together for this campaign. I know there were meetings about this campaign. And so uh, participating in these different promotions, I don't know all of them. I know some of them, how they are affecting people who actually come here, a glass of champagne. Yeah, it's nice to have, but I'm not going to buy a trip to Las Vegas just to get a glass of champagne in my room when I get here. I can, I mean, I live in Las Vegas, but friends will go buy a bottle of champagne at the store and and toast there. So there has to be reasons to come here, and I do believe there are reasons, and I think that that's what the Visitor and Conventions Authority they're working on to get people to understand those reasons. There is a good reason to come here.
Got it. Well, Dr. Stafford, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much. I appreciate you always being willing to help me out when I need it. And please,
Whenever I can,
always,
try to be.
yeah,
I
let
felt
me
bad
know.
the other day, but
No, no, you're good. Let me know if you ever need anything from my end too, and I'll be right there.
I
So,
appreciate it.
yeah, that's all I have for you. You have a good rest of your Sunday. And I'm sure we'll be chatting soon as these numbers continue to get
I'm
released.
sure. Yeah, I will actually, please do let me know, James. I'll be
Yeah.
very curious to see what they release.
Yep.
And I'd like to react to that
Okay. Perfect.
because I don't know what they'll release, but I would very much like to see all of that.
Sounds good. Yeah. Like I said, I reached out to them early last week, and they were really like, hey, yeah, we just haven't gotten them yet. We'll let you know as soon as we do. And so I guess they're working with resorts to figure out exactly what the resorts got out of that. So I'm very interested to see exactly how big of an impact it was, because I had a couple coworkers who are on the off-air side that said that they were trying to book some stuff that week, and they were like, well, these feel like the same. Some of these feel like the same specials that hotels have been running. So I'll be interested to see exactly
Mhm.
how many people they were able to get to book during that 5 day sale.
Right. Yeah. And I'll be curious to see like what time periods, if they have
Hmm.
that, the sale went on now, what are the time periods that people are
Yep.
coming? Uh, and there's some other metrics and KPIs that would be interesting to know, but we'll see what they release.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. You have a good rest of your day. And I will talk to you
You.
soon. Bye.
Okay, thanks, James. Take care.
You
Bye
too.
bye.